Hello, friends. I am coming to you today from a very special place in Harvey Park. This house behind me is the original Harvey Mansion. Over 7,000 square feet, it is presently for sale for the first time since 1962 for $3 million. This home is where all of Harvey Park started. Originally built in 1921, this two-story portion back here was sold to big band leader Paul Whiteman in 1924, who bought it for his parents for their retirement, where they used that home as their ranch house for the Black and White Ranch, a ranch filled with black and white farm animals. The house was then sold to an oil man from France named Henry de Compiègne, whose name I've completely butchered, who added on to the house in 1938 with a design by architect Burnham Hoyt, the architect of Red Rocks Amphitheater and other famous works in Denver. The house has stayed almost completely unchanged since that 1938 addition, with the exception to a pool added on to the end of the house. The house went through several famous owners through the years. In 1946, the house was sold to Major F.W. Bonfils, who was the nephew of one of the co-founders of the Denver Post. And in 1948, it was sold to Tex Harvey, who is the namesake of the Harvey Park neighborhood. So, I'm going to take you through this house a little bit and show you all of the architectural marvels that it has inside and out. Enjoy! So instead of starting at the front door like a normal tour guide, I'm actually starting you here at the two-story portion of the house. That's because it's this part of the house that is the oldest part and what we refer to as the Whiteman estate. It's this two-story portion of the house that Paul Whiteman bought for his parents in 1924. Here's a picture of what it looked like back when Whiteman owned it, and you can see that it's been quite transformed in the 1938 renovation that was designed by architect Burnham Hoyt. Note how the three windows actually remain, but the original roof was more of a Dutch gable roof, and so that roof, which would have been angled at that time, had been straightened up to become corners for that second floor. And then note how there used to be a front door right in between those two bottom level windows, now bricked over with no sign that a front door was ever there. So now we're going to walk up the entrance court. A front patio here that's outside the living room and into the double doors of the home. Passing through the doors, we pass through the entrance hall, and you can see there's this wonderful wall of glass opposite the entrance hall that opens right onto the back patio. As we turn around, we can look at the north wing of the home here, and all this wing has in it is the entrance hall, the living room, and then a screened porch on the end of the wing. These are all very large rooms, particularly the living room. In fact, a lot of people that I have talked to refer to the living room as more of a ballroom because it is such a large room. Now we're going to walk along the back patio here over to this incredible screened porch that exists at the end of the wing with these arched windows on three sides. I had for all these years thought this was actually a sunroom with glass, but now that I'm here I can actually see that all of these what look like window frames are actually just framing in typical window screens. This is really the fanciest screened porch you've probably ever seen. And adjacent to that here are double glass French doors opening into the giant living room. Here's that screen porch from the outside. And here's the living room.
You can see this is a grand space. Beautiful wood flooring, high ceilings, giant windows, French doors opening to the backyard. And there's that screen porch where we just were. And a quick side note, the church that you can see outside the French doors here is the location of the original stable for the home, also designed by architect Burnham Hoyt, and also had living quarters for the house staff. Now let's head to the other side of the entrance hall and into the library. Now I have an old photograph from 1939 of this library, and I have to say that it looks almost precisely as it did in that photograph. And one thing I had noticed in the original blueprints that the Denver Public Library has of the house is that the drawing showed these secret doors here on either side of the fireplace. As you can see, that's filled with a collection of National Geographic magazines. But I thought that was a really neat feature to have that cabinet hidden in the library paneling. As you can see, there's still plenty of books here in the library, and also a photo on display of the estate. That 1931 year can't possibly be correct. Maybe it was 1941, but there's an old photo of the estate on display here in the library. But just note how beautiful this wood paneling is. In wonderful condition, unchanged from its original Burnham Hoyt 1938 design. And you can see that the arches that are on either side of the fireplace here are also reflected in the windows on the opposite side of the room. Beautiful, beautiful space. For our next stop, I'm going to take you over to the dining room, and we have a little bit of background music from the harpist, who you might have seen a couple of times there in the entrance hall. And look at how grand this dining room is. Surrounded by French doors, plenty of space for a large table. You know how in houses dining rooms are always too small. Not in this house. As we go through the home, also note the wallpaper everywhere in the house. All the walls are covered in some kind of wallpaper or another. Now we're passing into the butler's pantry, and we are now in the original two-story portion of the house. So this is the 1921 portion of the house where the Whiteman family lived, and of course it wasn't a butler's pantry at that time. We're probably in what was originally a large living room or parlor, but now it is the butler's pantry for serving out of for guests in the dining room or in large events in the living room. And on to the kitchen. Now this is one of the rooms in the house that is not original to the original 1938 design. If I were to venture a guess, this was probably renovated in the 1970s. But it is said that the Allison family who owned the house, this was their favorite room. They were in the kitchen all the time, cooking meals for themselves and their family. And it really is a very spacious and functional kitchen for them. Notice the matching appliances and countertops, the paneled cabinets. We have some glass paneled cabinets here, the double wall oven, and then the built-in electric cooktop in the island. Check out this great burner design. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like it. And now we'll head to the room adjacent to the kitchen here, what they called the servants' quarters. Right now it's kind of configured as a breakfast room, but originally think of it as like the servants' break room, where when they weren't working, this is where they would hang out, probably talk trash about the guests, and adjacent to that is also the home's laundry room. Now, I wanted to revisit this corner in the kitchen real quick, just to point out that this is where the front door of this 1921 home would have originally been. Now, while we're in the 1921 portion of the house, I want to go ahead and take you upstairs and show you something interesting. When the house was added on to and renovated, Burnham Hoyt did not make any changes to the upstairs floor plan of the 1921 home that Whiteman's parents would have lived in. So originally there were 3 bedrooms and 1 bath upstairs, and it's pretty much in its original configuration up here. You can see these nice wood built-ins here. Here's the bathroom. Obviously, probably some new fixtures were put in during the 1938 renovation. And one interesting thing to note, you might have seen it in the last bedroom we were in, but as we go into the other two, you'll notice that the closets for the bedrooms are in the outside corners of the house. On the original Dutch gable roof, this is where the roof would have angled into the room. So there probably were originally closets there in the first place to just kind of take advantage of that angled space and make it a closet. This powder room, I don't know if that was in the original floor plan. That would have been an unusual thing to have in a bedroom in the 1920s, but it may or may not have been there. And there's me. Hello. And the third bedroom here in the southwest corner of the house. Again, notice that corner closet there where the original Dutch gabled roof that's no longer there would have angled into the room. So now we're in the main hallway back down onto the lower level, and I want to take you to what is my favorite room in the house. I love this room. You'll notice the black glass block looking into the hallway, and look at this spectacular room. This is the family room of the house, although what's interesting is if you look at the original blueprints, Burnham Hoyt called this the playroom, so maybe this really was meant as a room originally devoted to children, but it's really meant as kind of an informal living room. It has these wonderful beamed ceilings, and look at this incredible fireplace. I have a vintage photo of this room, which is how I know that very little has changed in it, and I couldn't figure out what this fireplace was made out of. But if you look, it's actually made out of really thin bricks in this really unique pattern. Very, very cool fireplace design. Probably one of a kind in the world. I've never seen anything like it. But notice the great wood paneling. Here in these corners, there was originally built-in seating that was removed at some point. Look back up at this great ceiling and the light hanging down in the middle. And then if we look back at this wood paneled wall here, you can see the glass block looking out into the main hallway of the home. And welcome to the primary suite of the home. Now looking out the window here, you can see what would have at one time been the yard is now the indoor swimming pool. And this is, of course, not part of the original 1938 design, but was added at some time later. You can see the bedroom has French doors. There's the main hallway. We're at the end of the main hall. And then if we look in here, the room has an adjacent dressing room. Full height mirror with these vanity lights. And there's me. And we have an adjacent bathroom here, and we can turn around and see the large window here in the dressing room, a devoted shoe closet. And in fact, there's lots and lots of closets in this primary suite. We have a closet here, and if we look down this passageway, which connects this bedroom with what's called in the blueprints bedroom number 2, there's closets all the way down that hallway. So here's the adjacent bathroom. It has a matching vanity and bathtub, a curious carpet-wrapped bathtub, which you'll see as I turn around here. And look at the wallpaper in this space. Again, continuing on the wild selection of wallpaper throughout this house. We go through here, we pass through a little water closet where the toilet is, and then there's a second bathroom, this with a shower and vanity, and we're in bedroom number 2. Now the way these are configured, where we have bedrooms number 1 and 2 flanking this kind of bathroom and closet core, suggests to me that this was all meant as one big self-contained primary suite, maybe as his and hers bedrooms, perhaps, when Burnham Hoyt designed this original edition for the De Campagne family. But I don't know what to make of it. It's a curious thing. We're going back into bedroom number 1 here. This room here, this wonderful wood-paneled room, is what on the blueprints was called the boys' room. So this is presumably where the original De Campagne family's children slept. and it has its own bathroom as well. It also has, tied into this wood paneling here, look at the built-ins in this closet. The craftsmanship is wonderful on the inside of this closet here. With wood, of course, stained to match the adjacent paneling. Quick peek inside this bathroom here. You can see these cool vanity lights. There's me again. Another crazy wallpaper choice here. You can check out this round window. And then this is the only bathroom in the house that has this feature. And I don't know if it's original or not, but look, this is an authentic, what they call a princess tub. And there's one more bedroom here in the main bedroom hall. This one also has its own bathroom as well. This on the original blueprints is called the guest room. This one doesn't have the princess tub, unfortunately, but it does have a matching set of plumbing fixtures. So let's go take a look at this swimming pool. I don't know when the swimming pool was added onto the house. If I were to venture a guess, probably in the 1960s or 70s. As you can see, it's a space constructed of these, what I'm guessing are fiberglass greenhouse panels lit by these wonderful globe lights. We have a wet bar. And as we turn around here, there's this neat little cove here with natural stone, fireplace, seating areas. And we're looking into the primary suite there in the windows. So here we are. This is the back of the house, the part that Harvey Parkers never get to see, because this is the part that doesn't face the road. This yard is so large. The house sits on a 2-acre lot, and this yard is so large that giant parties could be thrown here by the homeowners through the years, and they definitely took full advantage of this house when it came to entertaining until recent years as the owners got upwards in age. But it's said that they would put large table rounds throughout this yard and seat many hundreds of people for their yearly parties here at the house. So I hope you've enjoyed this tour, giving us a rare look into a home that a lot of us have only been able to imagine. If you're interested in buying this house and continuing its historic legacy here in Harvey Park, contact me and I'd love to give you a private tour. Let's preserve this house as a Harvey Park landmark.